persecution. And for these latest arrivals, well, what a transition from a life which was frightening, basic and chaotic to a place full of festivities and bright Christmas lights. Kevin Birch, BBC Look East in Colchester.
There's been another big drop in the region's unemployment total. It fell by 20,000 in the last quarter to 128,000. A rise in the employment of men was the main factor. Sectors such as construction, transport and manufacturing recruited strongly. The region's jobless rate is now 4.1% compared to 5.2% nationally. The company which runs the region's rail services is setting up a joint inquiry with Network Rail into the serious disruption last month caused by leaves on the line. Hundreds of services on branch lines on Abellio, Greater Anglia had to be cancelled because the train wheels were damaged.
This morning on the Sudbury to Marks Tay line, the trees have all but shed their leaves and the trains ran on time. But here and on other local branch lines, 13 days in November was a fortnight many commuters would rather forget. And it was all down to this, leaves on the line.
I know that a lot of it is because we don't have the right rolling stock. We're going to fix that with the franchise. But in the meantime, they just need to show greater resilience.
As the leaves fell, they were crushed by trains using the lines. It left a thin residue which led to the wheels spinning on the rails, and that created so-called flat spots, which means the wheels were no longer perfectly round. Result, up to 10 out of 26 diesel engines out of action. They have to have their wheels lathed at depots like this one in Derby, which can take days. It means there aren't enough engines around to run a full service. So what's the solution? Easy, say campaigners. Invest in new state-of-the-art carriages like these, which they say have the technology to deal with leaves on the line.
There's a company that's reconditioning London Underground railway stock that would be perfect for this line, and not only will it get over the leaves on the line issue, but it will save money to the operators so that they can invest those savings into much-needed improvements.
In the short term, an industry expert, John Curley, has been brought in to find out exactly what caused last month's chaos and what lessons can be learned. Alex Dunlop, BBC Look East.
There were more delays on the Ipswich to Peterborough line today due to equipment failures. It came as MPs discussed the future of the Anglia franchise with the rail minister in the Commons. The Bury St Edmunds MP, Joe Churchill, told me it was critical to get improvements.
We are looking at one of the net contributors to the Treasury. We are a dynamic region. Any delay, it impacts on people, it impacts on business. And it's really hard to draw inward investment in if you don't have really top-class infrastructure.
The rail minister seemed very sympathetic in the debate, but how much do you think they can actually do apart from choosing someone to run the franchise?
What they can actually do is make sure that those bids, when they are scrutinised, are not just meeting those invitation to tender standards, but they are exceeding it. And I challenged her tonight to deliver what we need. And she was facing an awful lot of colleagues in there.
The trouble is, it's all about the next franchise, but that means that passengers are still going to have to wait quite a long time for those improvements to really come through.
Absolutely. I mean, the tender will shut tomorrow. Then we're looking for a decision to come out around April. And then it will start to be invoked next October 16. But the beauty of this is that it's over the next 9 years.
And do you personally have a preference over who should get the franchise?
I am keen to see the best bid delivered for constituents across East Anglia, so we get the reliability and we get the frequency and we get the improved service that everybody needs.
Joe Churchill, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all from us for tonight. Coming up next, the weather with Chris, but from me and the rest of the late team, have a good night.